and welcome to another art challenge. I'm going to be doing another Smaugust because that was really fun, and maybe I'll work a little bit more on this guy because I really want to finish this drawing. So those are the two things I'm going to work on. I'm going to bounce between them. I'm going to turn up my air conditioner because it's loud. And we have toy pop. Okay, add some more. Oh no. Eat. Okay. There we go. I love these. It's so great now that I have these colored gloves. Like I have this blue one. It's so easy to spot. So let's get to work. New drawing, new. I think I'm gonna mix it up. Sometimes I'm gonna do an actual drawing of an animal, or I mean a actual dragon, and then other times I'm going to do dragonborn. So, okay. Oh, okay. Cool. Yay. Whoops. Oh no, I forgot to. Okay, I'll just post now. Wait, that's tomorrow. Or today, because I'm... No, I'm not. Okay. Sorry, my brain's just like... Yeah, I'm good. For some reason, for a split second, I thought I logged into Twitch accidentally, but nope. Eventually I'll find a way. Maybe if I start making money from like ad revenue, I can put that towards a membership to this software so that I can do more than one stream at once through this. Or maybe there's just a better software I could use for that. I'll have to look into that. Anyway, turn on some music. I get fantasy back. Yay, I missed you. Nope. Sorry, 1 second. Sorry for the hold up. I'm just trying to figure out why this music's playing even. This is so weird. What is going on? This is so strange. Yeah, sorry about that. I had to turn off the music. I gotta figure this. I'm trying to just figure out what's going on with it. How are you doing, by the way? I hope you're having a good day. Um, I just turned it on today, and for some reason the music's playing through the monitor, and I don't know why because I didn't change anything. But like, I mean, I guess I could just. The only problem is be hard to hear me if I talk. So, I mean, I like to be able to hear the music, but normally I just use my headphones if I want to do that. So, I'm just gonna try this out for a few more moments, and then I'll drop it and say whatever. I'm good. It was a nice, quiet day, and things this week have gotten much better. Like a little bit stressful earlier, but things are really nice now. So, got some good news, um, and yeah, things are good. And I had so much fun on my last stream on Wednesday doing the Smaugust that I thought I would do another one. So I'm just gonna, you know what, I'll just put it on quiet. That's fine. Or it will just ignore me, but that's fine. Anyway. Sorry about that. I Yeah, it's ignoring me. No matter what I choose in sound settings, it ignores what I want. So you know what? Let it be a grump. I don't care. Okay, that's fine. I changed everything, so it should be working fine, but it's not, so we're just gonna let it be. Oh, that's okay. No worries. Yeah, it's still up, so if you wanted to check it out, it's right there. I don't mind letting people. If you don't have time, I've had that happen too, where if I don't have time, I'll just watch something later. But still too loud. There we go. That's a little. That's better. It is kind of fun, weird, because I'm so used to like half the time not even listening to the music and just letting like it play through YouTube. So this is like, oh, okay, this is what the music sounds like. Like, okay, I'm glad it's good. So I didn't know. Oh, nice. Yeah, I haven't put anything up there lately. I almost thought about doing a stream on there yesterday, but I was I was a little bit tired, but I haven't done one in a while, so thought about it. Let's see. Cuz I will start posting those soon, like the Smaugust things up on on Instagram, cuz that's one of the few things I really like to. Oh, yeah, I was gonna do. I have a couple I can do today. Yeah, it's funny how you can see like my transition from doing, and I'm probably gonna go back, but I did a lot of traditional first because I love pen and ink. I like pen and watercolor. I mean, let's see, what were we on today? Def- oh yeah. Oh, I want to do this one so bad. This will be fun. There's a there's a Smaugust for a Defiant Dragon, and at first I was like, let me get my. I'll be right back. I gotta get my sketchbook. Yeah, there was a. I was like, it'd be so cool to draw a dragon who's just like defiant in that it's like really like tough and like resilient and like very aggressive. But then I thought about it some more, and I'm like, but what would really make it fun? And I'm like, give it some like teenager clothing. Like I'm gonna give it a like maybe like a backwards hat and like like baggy jeans or something, or baggy pants, and he's just got defiant attitude. He's like, and I was gonna put him on instead of a treasure trove. He's got like this one has a it's all of its laundry is just underneath it. It's like, I'll do what I want to. God. Just thought that would be fun. Let's see. I'm gonna look up some pictures of different animals for these. Like I was, for like different for dragons, I always like to go to things like mammals as well, because there are a whole bunch of really good wildcats and like things like weasels are really good, or groundhogs, or things that are like close to the ground, but also like in just to give it a different feel of like how it might move. Especially if it's like an earth dragon or something, you want something based on a creature that goes into the earth. So using like a mole instead of a lizard might make more sense sometimes. I mean, there are a bunch of lizards that can dig, but and one of the prompt lists is to draw a dragon based around an actual lizard, and I'll probably do that one after this one. But should it have? I don't know how that would work. I was going to say, should it have braces? But I'm trying to think how that would work with a dragon. Maybe it's playing a Switch, too. Wait, no. It's got to be because that's a wyvern. If the Switch was that big, it wouldn't be a dragon; it'd be a wyvern. So it's like, and it has glass. Give him glasses. Because why not? I don't know. Nah, maybe not glasses. That's silly. like, glasses are the silly part of this. Yep, that's certainly not the pants. or, or the tank top I'm gonna put on this. Yep. Like, yep. That's where I got weird. Was the or what if he's hoarding like? No, that'd be too hard to show. Woo. I was gonna think like with like folklore, like or like with fantasy still, like maybe he's hoarding like not Pokemon. I almost was gonna say Pokemon cards, but that would be a little bit too specific. So I was thinking like some other franchise like Yu-Gi-Oh cards, or I don't know. Yeah, that's a little better though. It's like he's not colossal size, so he can still like hold it, but it's very hard to hold. It's like using his fingertips to play it. It's funny at work. I was talking about this, and there's another person there who's like into fantasy too, and or at least likes to talk about. At least will talk to me about it, and we're talking about different dragons. And one of the prompts was cream, so I made an ice cream. I was working on a sketch of an ice cream dragon, and I think I'm gonna try and finish that on here. Maybe I'll at least start it on here tonight. And we're like in the middle of this conversation, and all of a sudden this guy who was like zoned out in the corners just like goes, "What are you two talking about?" I'm like, and I'm the one that looks at him weird. I'm like, well, dragons, of course. And he just looked like his brain broke, and I'm like, oh, I'm sorry, buddy. It's like this is normal conversations for us. Like we always just talk about stuff like this. I don't know what you talk about, but with me, if it's not fantasy or like comic or comics or animation based, it's like I mean I do talk about popular movies sometimes, but only if it's got actors I really like in it. So that was just funny because he's like holding it. It was just like such a dramatic reaction where he's just like holding his head almost, and I'm like, "You gonna be okay over there, pal?" And the, oh, that was rich. Should he have a tattoo as well? I think he should have a tattoo. Maybe like a sword on his arm or something. I'll put a placeholder of a sword, but it would be kind of cool to make it like a special sword from some game or something. Maybe give him a hoodie, actually, because I don't know why, but that just seems more like a... with the sleeves ripped off. And then the backs, he's got like juvenile like wings still. They're only good for like a little bit of gliding. He's not cool. He's only 100 years old. He's a teenager. We could put those. I was definitely thinking that too. Like I could put some of those here too. You know what? I think I'm just gonna give him collectibles instead of gold. He just has a whole bunch of collectibles. So it could be like Magic the Gathering with like. Where he's like. He's playing a little bit of that. He's got these over here for an unboxing video, maybe. Oh, gotta be careful. I don't want to make it look like cigarettes. But they do come in these like huge. The starter packs do come in like a big. Actually, compared to him though, the boxes would be like. If that's a Switch. I'm trying to do like size comparison. Yeah, it would be more like that. So it'd be like. The cards would be like that big to him. He's like setting up a deck right now. He's got them all laid out on he's got like a small table here for them. So he can like do unboxings and have a nice background to do it too. I'm gonna just put it in perspective. This is... Yeah, you can just have like a tray he's putting it on. Just so that it's easier to see. Yeah, you know what's funny? Even as I'm doing this, I realized I just recreated a character from Spiritfarer. Because there is a little dragon spirit that you pick up later on, and he's all into D&D, and everything in the little hut, the place you make him is that's all that stuff is. It's great. But yeah, this guy. Yeah, this guy would be fun to talk to, I bet. Unless he starts spoiling One Piece for me, then I'm like, I'm out of here. It's like, excuse me, sir. I'm working through it. Okay, I'm I, I'm behind the curve. I'm behind everyone. I gotta catch up. I'm only what is it like? I think I'm 600 episodes in now, which is still not much. It's like a because I did collect magic cards for a little while. I wasn't very good at playing it. I mean, the mechanics of the game were a little bit tough for me, or they like some of them were anyway. Because back then they didn't. They've changed the game. Every expansion, every time they add a new like series of cards. Oh no! uh, Yeah, and it's so easy too because you just accidentally say like one thing and it's like, oh yeah, this move or this thing that happened, and you're like, I didn't know he could do that yet. What? He doesn't do that where I'm at in the story. Of course, uh, not. I mean, I always do anyway, but I was going to jokingly say not to badmouth my benevolent overlords, but YouTube is the biggest culprit of spoiling One Piece. Because it is just like, and usually it's not even like content people. It's like advertisements or something, and it's just like, oh yeah, and here's yeah, it's like here's him in fifth gear, and I'm like, guys, a lot of people aren't there yet. Why are you showing this? I mean, the animation looks awesome, but I'm like, I want to see this for myself and be surprised. I don't need to see this in like a commercial that I have to wait to skip. I think even like yeah, a couple enemies have done that with promotions accident. I'm not sure why they do that sometimes, but like I'm pretty sure when I was watching solo leveling, that also had some. Oh yeah, it had spoilers because like the next season shows who he's gonna go up against, and I'm like, guys, I mean, I read the manga, or manhwa, right? Is it? Because it's not Japanese. I think it's Korean. Anyway, I read that, and so I already know what's gonna happen because I've read through the whole story. It's great. It's a great story. But people who don't are gonna be like, "Oh, this is that." Yeah, they are taunting us. It's just like spoilers left and right. It's like, oh yeah, whatever. They don't care. Like, it would have been like back in the old days of if Funimation was just like, oh yeah, here's the Cell Saga. We're gonna show you Super Saiyan 2 Gohan, and it's like, wait, what? What are you talking about? Yeah. I don't play too many games, but I am actually pretty excited for Sparkling Gold whenever that comes out. I think it's coming out later this year. Because I did like the Budokai Tenkaichi games a lot back in the day. But yeah, because I'm going back through. I was rewatching some of solo leveling because like I think it's starting up against it like in the fall. maybe? I'll have to check. I could have sworn they said it was starting in the fall. But I wish Ranking of Kings would come back. I know that I mean, there's a lot of work that goes into that one, so I understand why it's taken a while. Because it's like movie quality almost. It's definitely up there. And I just love all the characters in it. Like that, it was just. If you haven't seen it, I definitely recommend that one. About a deaf boy who's part giant, who's in like born into a royal family, and like you think at first that the stepmother is cruel, but you misinterpret it. She actually just loves him so much she doesn't want to see him be perceived as a fool. And it's just such a heartwarming story, and has a great opening, and it was just really fun. Yeah, it was really nice. It had this really nice very loose, kind of like almost Studio Ghibli style, but not quite. It had its own style that was kind of like, just felt like motion picture almost. And it was just so nice to see those kind of characters, and it was really just a fun place in general. It was just a nice one to watch. It was sad. Like everything about it was like, even the villains you felt bad for. You're like, oh man, this is just like a rough world to live in. Like when you have his flashbacks of his father, and you're like, oh no. And what really happened to his mother. You know. Also, that second, like, I think it was yeah, the second opening, like I think made me tear up the first time, at least the first time I watched it, because it was like just seeing him with the stepmother and how much she loves him is just like so heartwarming and pure, and just, yeah. Because it's so nice to see a story like that in that setting where the stepmother's not evil. Because in so many Disney things, they're just like, yep, it's watch out for that stepmother, and it's like, and this is like, no, she's great. Oh no, yeah, the fight scenes. You think it's, when you first see it, you're like, oh, this is just going to be like a slice of life kind of, maybe, with this art style, but it's like, no, the fights are just gorgeous. Like, and they only get better as the show goes on. Like him versus that. What was? Oh, the knight. Yeah, when he fought that knight in the underworld, that was really good. And like some of the final fights against some of those guys from the that were in the story. I'm not sure how far you are, so I don't want to. I think you said you watched all of it, right? Or did you watch But anyway, it's just like all over the place, just really good, and I'm excited because like they left so much open for the next season. Where it's like, oh yeah, this could still be a problem, and this could still be an issue, kind of things, and it's good world building, is what. And of course, I'm excited for the next season of Spy Family, because I mean, I like the movie. That was really good. Yeah, the mother was just like so, and like so cool. Like when you find that, and I love that they gave her armor that wasn't like your like traditional like anime armor for a woman. She had like full plate mail on, and I'm like, oh, that is awesome. Like she's smart because she knows that like it just takes one arrow, but she's like, nope, not risking that. And like how they showed her magic looked so awesome, the healing magic. That was so cool. Yeah, and like all the guards, how they have different fighting styles. Yeah, so much about that show I loved. I thought they were because I mean they don't have to. I thought I heard something about it, but it did kind of end on a note where like it could just be done, but I would be happy with more if they did. But I mean, it doesn't need it. They did kind of leave it in a way where like they could if they finally do decide to just move on to other projects, I would still be like that was a great show, and I would just be like, okay, I'll move on to their next show because that one was so good. I'm gonna give him my ear piercing. Another one I'm looking forward to is um oh gosh, what was it called? The bookkeeper one. Uh, you know what I'm talking about? The one where it's like she gets transported to another world and it's where are you? Yeah, well he's not a king, he's not the number one king. So it is kind of funny because when I describe it to people, I say that thing how I said earlier, where it's like it's really high quality animation. But I also say, if you like One Piece for the character design, this show's for you because like I feel that they also like just knock it out of the park with like making these unique designs for everyone. So everyone's silhouette is different. Like no two people really look too similar. Even townspeople, like background characters, are pretty unique. Like I don't remember too many of them being like cookie cutter, like some animes have to do. Which I mean isn't a guarantee that it'll be. I mean, a lot of anime do get away with it. Like I love Trigun, and that has several characters that just look like the same, and some on purpose, but others not on purpose, and it's still good. I never saw the newer series, but I heard that if you've seen the other one, it kind of messes with people who've seen both. But maybe some people like it, and that's cool. I don't care. Same with the Kenshin. I haven't. I used to watch the original Rurouni Kenshin back in the day, and I spent a bunch of. I put me and my friend put like some of my summer paychecks into like collecting that entire show, and yeah, it was fun. I mean, I like the characters and the. I mean, the later stuff I don't recommend if you watch it on Crunchy, the original one on Hulu, but that's only because like if you do watch it, just watch up through the Kyoto arc, and then you're good. Because after that, it gets really weird. It's like, hey, what if he's like? I guess the like there was like a weird thing with like another Batusai that appeared that was like part of a Christian uprising or something, which was like, okay, I think, I mean, like, this stuff was an issue, but I'm not here for this with my anime, so whatever. I don't mind, but it's kind of weird. Oops. You know, I'm gonna try and give them. Go back to the wings where they were more bat-like, or just had kind of like sharp bits to them. And maybe there's just like, oh, what if he has stick? Oh, like, yeah. I don't know if those would stay on though. I was gonna put stickers on his wings, but I don't know if they would stay on his wings because he's flapping them, and they would just probably get knocked off by the speedy of the wind when he's gliding even. Maybe he's also like painting some models. So he's got his like cards here. He's got a carousel of paints here. So I used to have one of these. It was pretty cool where you could have like all your paints on one thing and like the paintbrushes would be in the middle sticking up like that. And then like you could just spin it around. Yeah. Yeah, with that, it was just kind of like the story just kind of got weird. And it was like, I like the original, I like the first storyline, even though I guess the newer one follows the manga more. But the original kind of went off and changed some things, which was fun because, like, I guess, like, Kaoru's nieces, I believe they are, weren't as big of a part in the original, or they were just a. I don't even think. Maybe they didn't even show up. Oh, like rub on one. Yeah, okay, I can do that. Maybe he's got like those temporary ones that last like a month or something. Because he already has a real one on his arm. I'm gonna color it in so it's more. I'll make the Ultima sword from Final Fantasy VII. That'll be on his arm. Yeah. There we go. What if he um I wonder if I can find let me see. Oh, cool. Okay. I was gonna see if I could put like runes on him, like, but they're like spelled, but much like it's stuff like no fear or something, or some like very edgy things. Maybe would be kind of fun if I could find out the words, like the translation. I gotta. Here's Viking runic symbols. This is what I want. This is one he could have. It looks like a. It's pretty easy to draw, so. Oh, I like that. I made that too. I'll make that bigger. Because the tattoos can be bigger, because whatever, like. There we go. Yeah, cool. Okay, I'll put one like right there. Gonna clean it up. Although this is all rough anyway, so I don't know why I really care, because I'm gonna draw over all this anyway. So, but maybe we'll just start with this, just by cleaning this up first. Oops. um One I want anime, or at least one manga I want to get into, is Chainsaw Man, because I still have kind of mixed feelings on the art style of the show, but maybe once I watch more of that, get better. But the manga looks gorgeous. I've seen that, and that's. I think it's just the 3D kind of just doesn't feel right to me, but if you don't feel the same, that's fine. I only saw the first few episodes, so maybe it gets better. But to me, the first few episodes kind of like felt like very like the way he moves is kind of choppy, which maybe is just like how they show that he's very inexperienced. Having, I mean, a chainsaw on his head, which I don't know how you would be experienced with that. But he is a strange fellow, so I wouldn't put it past him to be already trained in that. Yeah, I don't think it's bad. I just kind of have mixed feelings. Like it's. Plus, there was just so much coming out. Like there was still Spy Family coming out when that came out, so I was more focused on that. Oh, I should have done that. Oh well, I can do both. I'll do both. Cause there's a I forgot. There's a drawing of a or like this like runic thing with like it's got runes going all around it, and then it's got you just my tongue. You just still that still sounds wrong. The tree, the mythical tree. Yeah, yeah, me too. I mean, I have a whole bunch of shows I want to watch, and I like, even I thought I canceled um, Crunchyroll for like a month, so I'm just getting it back, and I'm like, I forgot I had this much to watch. I'm like, oh man, it's like part of me is very tempted to go back and rewatch Nishijo because that show just makes me smile. It is just pure lunacy. Like principal versus deer, who will win? Or like when her friend dropped, like did that amazing animated like spin uh, drop slam on her because she looked at one of her her very secret drawings and she's like, no. It's just a really fun show. If you don't watch it, I would say at least go look up the some of the shorts on YouTube because that's what got me into it, and they're really funny. The funny thing is, I found out about it through Drawfee. Like they were doing a drawing of of the Evangelion, um, like the Eva 01 doing a body slam on a Gundam, and I'm like, this is hilarious. I have to see what this is based off of. And I did, and I was happy. It's a little messy, but that's okay. It can be part of the tattoo that it's not looking 100% right. How are we doing on time? In a few more minutes, I'll switch to a different dragon, but this is... We're doing okay. Maybe I can get at least most of the line work for the clean line work down. I'm glad I kept the alligator kind of, or the crocodile mouth. Almost embarrassed myself. Yes, it is. It's just pure chaos. It's so wonderful. And I also have to finish up Laid Back Camp because I kind of watch that from time to time just for a more chill, laid back show. I was a little worried about it at first because of the teacher being an alcoholic a bit and that being played as a joke, but it doesn't get as heavy with that later on, so I didn't mind. She kind of has like a character arc with that, so I was like, okay, as long as it's not like always played as a joke, because that's kind of not really a thing that should be done really anymore as much. At least not to the level that she was drinking at the beginning of that show. It's like, whoa, okay. And of course, the next season of Jujutsu Kaisen is going to be crazy. And if you haven't seen that, I won't spoil why, but it will be crazy. I mean, that show's crazy to begin with, in general. Like, it is just, it's really high end animation, and I don't like how they got to that in some instances because I heard that they really had to. But I'm not sure where I heard. I thought I heard that they had to really do a lot of crunch with that one, but I didn't check out the source, so I can't say for certain even what that source is. So who knows? I always take some of those with just a grain of salt because I'm like, is this a reliable like place to get news, or is this just another like website trying to get clicks? Because there are those like news networks for like games and anime that are like, oh, this happened at this studio and this happened. It's like, no, it didn't. They just had a tough time because that's how animation works. it's a lot of work. Okay, I'm glad I didn't give anything away because it's good. It's not. It's hard to describe. Like some of the characters are really interesting and some aren't, and it makes me curious about like their choice for putting them in it, but it's still good. It tricked me into watching a shonen, and I was telling myself I was done with those for a while. I'm like, then I caught it, and I'm like, oh, but this animation is so pretty. Like, I'll give it a chance. Although I shouldn't say I gave up on shonen entirely, because I was just waiting for more. When I said that, I was just really waiting for more My Hero Academia to come out. And now it has. And that's been crazy. Like this. But I won't again because it's only just released some new episodes, so I don't want to spoil anything on that. Which ones are you watching? Oh, I also started watching Mashbowl. Um, what was the subtitle for that? I forget. It's like Fists and Magic or something like that. I forget. Muscle and Magic. And only because it's kind of like I jokingly said it's kind of like what would happen if Naruto, if the main character in Naruto was Rock Lee, because that's what it feels like. It's like, yeah, this guy can't do magic, but he's just so OP that it doesn't matter. Which is how I see Rock Lee in Naruto, where it's like, yeah, he can't do illusion magic, but he punch and kicks so hard that it doesn't matter. I know it looks kind of like a birthday cake, but it's just how it's set up. Then I'll put like some. Maybe he's like. Okay, what's that guy called? He's like painting some miniatures for like Dark Souls, I'll say, or something. Yeah, here's one that's much more recognizable. Even as a tiny silhouette. I forget which the name of this one, but it's definitely one that I would recognize from anywhere. Like it's supposed to be that knight. Yeah. I used to do that. I did but we would actually like forge. We had like a little like you'd buy the molds for them, and then you could just like melt the metal on a stovetop, because it was like it's I think it was just like a very soft metal or something. Not didn't need to be too high, or like high. It just had to be hot enough that like a regular oven could handle that. But that was pretty fun, because then you could also paint them afterwards. And I would have gotten into Warhammer, but I looked at the price tags and I was like, this is way higher than my allowance could pay for. Which I feel bad for kids now with like comics. How much they like. I don't know how a kid could. They're like $5 almost now. What? That's like. That's really high. I would say just like to any yeah, anyone young who's looking to get into comics, just save up and buy the graphic novels. I always it's easier to store them at too. So I have a whole bunch of Fables and a couple other Image comics. I was collecting Invincible for a little while, but kind of fell out of that. Not because it's bad, but just because I stopped collecting and started wanting to make my own. I think still my favorite of my more recent like comic purchases was Dave Kellett's book on dinosaurs. It is hilarious. It's like it gives like size comparisons for like how big they are. Yeah. Well, like I said, they're so expensive too. Like even like graphic novels, I know I said to save up for them, but I would I'd say like get digital, even for those. I mean, I love holding a book in my hands, but when they cost that much, I don't know. Like I remember collecting Constantine, some of the uh, which is the Ellis. Is it Warren Ellis? No, that's. Let me see. Well, it wouldn't be called Constantine. It would be. Okay, he did do Constantine. Okay, good. Yeah, it was Warren Ellis. And manga are even more, or like, I always felt those were even more. They felt even more expensive, but maybe that's just because of because they're like $16 or something, aren't they? Like some of them. I'm sure there's other ones that might be a little lower than that, like maybe down to 10. But the typical ones I saw were like in the 15 to 18 range. And that's a lot. I mean, like even I stopped more recently just collecting even graphic novels because it's just so much money to put in. And I mean, I'm sure there's stories I want to read, but not that much. Kind of, I think that's what actually pushed me into reading again normally. It's like buying a Brandon Sanderson book is much cheaper than buying a comic. So I'm like, okay, I'll get back to reading just like regular fantasy books because I can actually afford them. And Mistborn is a good series, so I need to get back into reading that. But yeah, they're also pricey. That's good for now. How are we doing? Yeah, let's move to. I didn't want to get a couple of these done, so that's. I'm glad I got the line work, but I want to do a couple of these today. So let's see what other prompts there is for Smaugust. I mean, for one, there's one that's a goblin dragon, might be kind of cool. You could do the cream one. I could do common flying dragon. I'm gonna look that up. Common. I think I know what this is. Yeah. Okay. I used to love these things. It'd be kind of. This might be cool to draw, just because of how they maybe give it like a more of a manta ray kind of thing going on. And it's like woo, because they have this big skin fold that comes off of them. It's just so fun to be gestural. This is like crazy lines everywhere. I'll give it like a big mouth, like a whale shark, where it's like, or like a basking shark, maybe even, where it's just like this can open up even wider, like maybe to the, like this, which wouldn't really make for maybe yeah, yeah, maybe when it gets to like that, this area here is like a I don't know. I'll figure something out. I was thinking like maybe there's like it maybe the skin on the side of its mouth is looser so it can like it's oh wait, no problem. Gotta get snacks. Yeah, I moved on to there's a prompt list where you mix real real lizards and other reptiles with dragons. So I'm doing this flying dragon, which is normally they just look. I'm sure you might have seen them. They kind of just have a head like that and a body, and then they got these yeah, they kind of just have like a body kind of that's like a regular lizard, but with like this like skin flap, like it lets them glide. And it's like it's attached to their arm, like kind of like a kite. So I'm just gonna exaggerate it on the dragon. And like I said, just make it more of like a manta ray kind of thing, or something like that. Where I could put the whale like I forgot that's called, but yeah, I could put that on it. That the right. I I still I kind of that's one thing one book I still need to get is the art book for that movie. I'm not sure which one I'd want more because they each one has very unique creatures in it. I think the second one seemed to have the most dragons overall. Well, no, the third one had a lot of dragons as well. And even the show, maybe I want the one from the show because that has the most dragons. Because it's like, I mean, it's a TV show. You can every episode's a dragon. I think one of my it's hard to choose. I have a lot of the Studio Ghibli art books, and those are great. But I also really like. I got the art book for Coco, and that's such a good movie. Like if the ending will. That should be like the new Turing test, where it's like, is if you don't cry at the ending of this, hmm. But that was such a great film. I hope they don't make a sequel to that, because I know Disney. I think Disney is getting better though. Like because I heard that the latest one that was a sequel was actually a good one with Inside Out 2. I heard that was really good. Still need to see it. But I did think it was. I only saw like a clip on YouTube, but it looked really funny from what I saw. So because I was a little let down by. Well, I didn't even see all of Wish. I just saw what they showed on YouTube, and I'm like, I don't know. This doesn't look like the Disney I know. But it's okay. Can't always. They can't all be winners. Oh, no problem. I'm just playing. I'm just having fun with this guy. Yeah, give him those blue whale kind of mouth. It is, and I kind of jokingly said to when I was talking it over with some people was like, I think that Enchanted, the live action movie with the little bit of animation in it, was a better celebration of traditional animation than that. Because at least when they showed the traditional, it felt like a classic Disney movie, which was the joke, but it didn't feel like it was making fun of animation. Whereas this, like, changed so much of like everything, and it made a prequel to like something we never thought we didn't want, and we don't. A lot of people don't. Like I never looked at. Yeah, I never looked at any of that stuff and said, "Yeah, I need an explanation for this in the Disney canon." And it's like it's a ancient story. Disney just took it, so I don't care about this arbitrary item that is in this story. Like even with Beauty and the Beast, I don't need a sequel about the. I mean, it might be kind of interesting, but I don't really need a sequel about the fairy that enchantress that cursed him, because it kind of don't want to know. It means more when you don't. The funny thing is, Wish might have been a better thing for a TV show, I think. With just like, and I'm sure they're gonna. Well, I don't know. I didn't think it did. Maybe it could. I don't know if they're what they're planning, but I just think it would have. The way it's set up, it seems like that might have been better. Because I can see her being a good TV show character for a Disney show, but a movie, not really. She's no Mulan or yeah for Wish. Yeah, sorry. Because then maybe they could explore like a bunch of different Disney movies and like kind of just do like an origin for all of it. Like all like you say, all the worlds are connected somehow, and Sora's going between them. No, I'm kidding. Funny thing was, they did try to make a Kingdom Hearts cartoon. I think it was probably just going to be used for like a promo, I bet. But there is storyboards. Yeah, I saw some of the art where the star was actually a person, so it felt more like Plume, where like you had like the where he was like this like character with like a gold get up, like his hair was golden, his eyes were golden, and I think he was wearing like a white shirt and like with mixed with gold with like really bright like yellowish gold kind of look. It looked really good. And then they're just like, nah, little kids won't like that as much as a little fun little poofy star. And I'm like, I think they would have liked the cool looking guy more than this little star. If any of their shows that they pay attention to would show, like, I mean, like Amphibia and um, all of that, anything that Alex Hirsch's team touched, like Gravity Falls, which became went on Disney, and Owl House, which I think is getting a movie. Yeah, I didn't know he shapeshifted. I forgot about that. That's even cooler. I just liked his like, yeah, his design was really fun, and it felt like early early Disney where they were experimenting more, which I think is just such a shame that they kind of like now that they have money, they don't do that as much. Like, look at the difference between you go from Snow White, which had a lot of reference, like for her, like the Snow White was they got an actress to move around and dance and a dress, and I mean, good on them because it looks great, and because it was such a that movie was such a gamble because no one thought it was going to make money. Uh, I mean, he was underpaying the artists at the time, which isn't cool, but he did put a lot of, to his credit, he did put a lot of stake in like trying to make that work. But it was and then like you have films, and then you have things like Sleeping Beauty, which is a huge different style. Yeah, like there's so many art styles you could explore because you have the money to do it. Like that was the thing I always gave. Why I always gave was it Dream? Yeah, DreamWorks. I gave them a pass on like I was okay with them like making I think they're the one. Oh no, that's Blue Sky, which disappeared into Disney. But I was okay with them making Ice Age movies for kids because I'm like, first of all, let them have their movies, kind of like back in the day with all the Land Before Time movies. It's like just let the kids have fun. And secondly, those movies were all successful, so they gave the studio money to do other projects, and they always took on really cool, really good stories. And I just wish Disney would do that again. There's so many stories still out there. Like it's, I think the one of the saddest things is that they're like all about like lately claiming they're about diversity and stuff, and it's like, guys, there's so many stories around the world that you could tell that wouldn't need you to force diversity. Like if you want a story with this someone from this race in it, then go to to that race's homeland and like find a good story. Like if you like what Mulan did, he went to got a Chinese story from China. Albeit a very edited version, but it was. I mean, was. It had to be because that was just like a super short story, and it was like of three. I think it was like several different stories connected in the original. Yeah, and then doing nothing with them. Nothing useful anyway. It's just I just don't get it because like competition makes everyone better. When you buy everything and you don't have to worry about it because it's under your thumb, you're not going to work hard. Although I don't think they can buy with. I think Sony is going to give them a run for their money, though. Like all the Spider-Man movies, like I still can't believe that Warner Brothers turned them down for a animated Batman Beyond movie done in the same style as Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. I would have been so quick to go to that. Like, that just sounds awesome. That seems like the perfect thing for, like, a Batman Beyond would be in that style. Yeah, it was really weird. Part of me almost, I know I said earlier I don't want prequels to things, but part of me almost would want a prequel to Lilo and Stitch with just just Lilo, because she's just so great. Like everything about her is just her character is just so much fun, and like it felt like when she was just kind of pulled into a different story that was still good. But her beginning part where she's just like, my friends need to be punished and all that, just like, that just always makes me laugh. So I'm like, more of this, please. But yeah, I don't know why you would say no to that. That seems like such an easy win to like animate. And they wanted to do it, so they probably weren't going to do it, weren't going to, uh, they weren't expecting like to get paid too much for it. I think they even like were going to take a loss on their side because they're in, like everyone on the team wanted to do it because they all love the show, but they still said no. Maybe they'll change their mind when that kind of stuff happens all the time. Where like maybe management will change again in a few years, and then the new person will give them the go ahead. Because that's happened so many times. Where it's like a new guy will come in and it's like, okay, now I'm gonna just get rid of everything the other guy was working on and say yes to everything that he said no to. I'm gonna put a little baby one underneath it. Or like a juvenile. Yeah, I watched the new one on Prime, and it's good. It's still not as good as the original because they couldn't get Danny Elfman. So like the music's nowhere near the music's a bit more somber, which is doesn't help it much because it kind of makes you sleepy. Is the joke I've heard people say. But it's interesting in some regards. I think some of the creative choices were a little weird, but not in the ways that some people would think. I don't want to spoil anything, so I'll leave it at vague at that. But uh, some of the ways they changed things was not bad, but just seems it could have been done slightly better. Because I'm not against any changes to the Batman story. By the way, it was called Cape Crusader, the new one. But because I said this I think on Wednesday, but there are no rules with Batman. He's done everything, so you can't say like there is no such thing as the Batman would never be in this situation. I'm like, he's been a pirate. There's an entire arc in the comics where he's just like going from like time period to time period and even fictional things. Like he's worked with Sherlock Holmes, he's fought Cthulhu, he's he's done everything. Like him and Superman are both ones where you're like as long as you stick to the tenets of what they are, which is amazing that Hollywood's found a way to not do that. It's like, guys, all you have to do is just like stick to the rules of what they believe in. Like Batman doesn't use guns because the only time he ever was even violent was in the original comics, and that was because back then they didn't have a hello, hi honey bun, thanks for dropping in. Yeah, he was in Scooby. That's right. Yeah, he was in it. The Harlem Globetrotters was in that. I mean, heck, this is. I love that Supernatural did an episode where they met the gang. That was pretty great. Thank you. Yeah, I've been working on some different dragons for a Smaugust. So I'm just doing the line work today. Like this is for a Defiant Dragon. So he's like this teenager that's got like a rune tattoos and I gave him like Cloud's final weapon, the Ultima weapon, and he's like painting miniatures, and he has Magic the Gathering cards. So I have him like on a playing board for when his friends come over. He can just take them out and put them on, and just and he's playing with a switch, but it's like since he's a medium-sized dragon, it's pretty tiny in his hands. Clean this up a little bit more. There we go. Yeah, and this was a different Smaugust drawing where I'm going to make sure I write down the where to go. I got to keep track of where these belong. Okay, this is at Ryu V Heel. So that's which is better, Robin or Nightwing? I mean, depends like what you mean by better, because obviously Nightwing is smarter and is possibly he's like the best martial artist or one of the top 3 best martial artists in DC or something like that, something crazy like that, like he's better than Batman in the comics. In the show, no, but in the comics, yes, because he fought that one assassin, Lady Katana, and he's one of the only people to survive her, I believe, or something. I don't know. I don't read. I only heard about that secondhand, so I can't say for sure. But oh, I don't know. Nightwing looks a little cooler, but that's only because he feels. It just depends what you want. Because like Nightwing's more like Batman, where he's like hidden, whereas Robin was kind of supposed to be the one that stood out because like he would like just distract the baddies while Batman beat them up. Like he didn't even have to throw a punch; he just had to like wear a really distracting suit, and then like the bad guys would look his way, and then Batman comes up behind him and beats the living daylights out of him. I think one of the reasons I didn't like the newer versions of Batman is that they kind of missed the main point of Bruce Wayne as Batman, is that like he didn't just like enjoy beating them up, and that's what these new movies make it feel like he's enjoying that these people exist, and it's like in the comics he eventually tried to help a lot of them. And I was also saying that like once he had friends in the Justice League who were magic, it's like Bruce. I mean, you do have the superpower of money, but you also now have magic. So like a lot of the problems that made those villains into what they are could be undone with magic. It's like, why don't you get like one of those guys to show up? Or even like get Zatanna to show up because she's friends with him. Yes, his superpower is he can just like buy any evil organization that tries to pop up. It's kind of funny because in Marvel that was kind of, I mean, I know people think it's Tony Stark, but also Warren Worthington of the X-Men, Angel, even though he had wings and stuff, his real superpower was his family wealth. Like I remember one story where he went in and found a group of human of like people that were trying to one of those anti-mutant groups, and he just bought the building that was their headquarters and kicked them out. It's like that's a good way of doing it. It's like, sorry, by the new bylaws of the building that I own that used to be yours, you can't be here. So sorry. I like this guy. He looks pretty cool. I never read that. I've heard of the story, and I vaguely remember it, but I never actually read it myself. It did sound. I've seen some of the covers, and it looked pretty creepy, but in an interesting way. I think that Long Halloween is still my favorite. Because like that storyline is just so cool. I was so happy when they made that into an animated movie. And they did pretty, I thought they did pretty good with it too. Like I was a little worried, but they got like Bruce Timm out. I think they got Bruce Timm on it. And I think that Andrea Romano was the voice actor director. So she's awesome. Like every time I see her name attached to something, I'm like, good. The voice actors are gonna do a great job because she's just such a great voice. She's such a great director or voice actor for the voice actors. Because she was involved in Avatar: The Last Airbender. She's been involved in pretty much every DC movie that was animated. So really, yeah, I think that's what I heard. Yeah, I couldn't remember that part, but yeah, that sounds right. But yeah, that would be pretty creepy. Because he always says he doesn't know what would happen to him if he did that, which is so funny. If you know that, like, the Joker wasn't even supposed to be an important character. He was just a villain of the week, and much like Wolverine, he kind of just like instantly got popular with readers. So they're like, I guess we're bringing him back. And he got scarier when he came back. Like, he started out as like just like an inconvenience kind of villain, but then he became like a real gangster. And then after that in the later comics, when a lot of the comics got darker in the Silver Age, then they made him into the serial killer kind of, or like the hitman version of himself. So yeah, that's when he became much darker. That looks pretty good. I think let's try another list. Which Smaugust list should I do next? Maybe Smaugust Circle. Nah, I'll do that at my own time. Gemstone. Oh, that's an idea. Maybe? I guess it is only a couple. Maybe I can start Cream at least. Which is going to be, I came up with this fun idea. I'm going to see if I can, and it doesn't work from that angle. For a Cream Dragon, I was thinking of making it an ice cream based one, and it's in the main body is a waffle bowl, and the legs are bananas. With almonds jammed into them for the claws. Do, 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 do. But yeah, that is going back to the. I am curious to see what they if they ever do make a Batman Beyond animated show, any movie that would like. I mean, I know they technically have, but that was just the intro to the series. The wings are just a uh, a waffle cone broken in half. Oops. Be cool to find this somewhere. I'm sure it exists somewhere. Like, or I have. There's someone at my work that does that she used to do like special cakes. So I'm sure there's people out there that do this kind of stuff with like I mean for a price, obviously. Do, 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 do. Be right back. I just use the restroom really quick. Bing. I think that's good. I just wanted to get a rough drawing for this one before I just so I could do more on my own. But let's see if maybe I'll do like one for tomorrow too. Because I also actually I want to take a break from dragons for a second and go back to working on nope, not that. You know what? I'm just gonna do this to be safe. Yeah, that's why. Because this is the first one I did, Smaugust. Was I could work on her a little bit more too. Where she's Oops, I'll move myself. I'll move her over a little bit so she's more visible. There we go. So clean up her eyes a little bit. Do, 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 do. I like that. That helps it a little bit. Still has areas I can, because what I usually do is I put a my process is I like to do a quick gesture drawing and then a quick color comp, or like color, for people who don't know what that is, composition. It means basically that I'm just roughing out what colors I want to use, and I just sometimes I skip making a small thumbnail and I just go straight to the big, but I'm really like splotching in colors just to try and find what the kind of theme I want. And that's kind of where this one is. It's like because I only started doing this challenge on Wednesday, so I'm a little behind, but I'm only doing it for fun anyway, so I don't care. Like, I don't feel any like need to do them all. I'm just choosing the ones I like the most. And it just so happens that lately the ones that I've seen were all from. I mean, they all looked really good for in the most recent days. But and if you ever have suggestions for things, like I do take I do take just suggestions sometimes. Oh hey, glad you're back. Oh, no problem. Yeah, I'm just cleaning up some art, and 'cause this one was, I really like how this one came out. This is what I worked on Wednesday. Oops, no. There. Sorry. she's because for some of them, I'm thinking about obviously I'm not gonna. I don't want them all to be dragons. Some of them I'm gonna make dragonborn. So the first one I did that was a dragonborn one. I might make the next. I do want to do one tonight that's a dragonborn. So let's find a good prompt for a dragonborn. Like. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I'm really happy with how it came along. I think I would like add some like stacks of meat behind her wing there. Let's see, Smaugust Circle is one of them. Oh yeah, the suit. I was gonna do the Oh yeah. Let's see. Save that one because I made some changes. I can't remember if I've shown you all the character sheets for my comic. I am working on this one that's new. That's where it was. This is something I want to work on tonight too. I made some pretty good progress on them earlier in the week, and I started it last weekend, but I'm kind of got distracted by some other things. And this guy was actually like the start of my comic. Like I was kind of like trying to come up with an idea, and I think I made it. He was originally going to be like a Nephilim kind of character where he's like half angel kind of thing with like angel wings, and he didn't have a mouth because I think I didn't like drawing mouths back then, which is a shame because now I love drawing them. Like even if they don't all look right, they're so expressive. I mean, between that and the hands and the eyebrows, it's like there's so much you can do. But yeah, I made him. He's like this like powerful earth mage that is had a Spriggan spirit bonded to him when he got spirited away. Yeah, I can see that. He's kind of a character who looks like he could be either good or bad, but he's mainly good. He's kind of like, I mean, he's good. Like he's got a good heart. He's just like he's not a like typical like standard good or bad. He's just like he has a good moral compass. Maybe sometimes it gets pushed into bad areas, but he doesn't want to hurt people if he can avoid it. He's more about exploring and like uncharted forests and studying like because in the world what's been happening is like the fairy realm is like bleeding into our world and it's changing parts of it, and he likes to explore those areas, which is what caused him to start to change actually because he stayed in one too long early on. But he also loves going in caves, so I mean yeah, and with his powers he doesn't have to worry about cave-ins because he pretty much can just like reshape rock in any shape he wants, so and stick to it too, so if he doesn't want to change anything he'll just like carefully walk down the side and he won't change anything but he'll stick to it. Let's see, what else do I got? This is an older one. This is his. I got his friend. I don't know if I showed you this one. This is because that's Clay. I thought that was fun, and this is Cole. Solomon Cole. He's a necromancer, and yeah, he basically is an earthbender. Yeah, and if you look at his, I tried to. Oops, That's my next version of my avatar. I didn't mean to have that open. Why is it asking me to... Oh, whatever. Yeah, there we go. There's Clay. Yeah, Clay. Here it is. Sorry. Yeah, because I gave him I even gave him kind of, because I mean it's been used a lot in other things too, so it's not really plagiarizing Last Airbender or Korra, but like I gave him the Earthbender kind of clothes a little bit, but only because I liked that design of like the coat that goes where the button it gets buttoned over, like an overcoat kind of thing, but like only for the top. Like I imagine maybe he has like a just a like a tank top on underneath it. But but yeah, Cole is really was really fun too because he's like he's friends with that other guy and with Clay, and mainly because since he can bend rocks, he can like pull up fossils, and then this guy can bring them back to life. Sometimes just like fusing like this like ectoplasm looking T-Rex with like they are. I have a bunch of the art books. They're all amazing. I've been meaning to get the Korra season 3 book because I really like that arc. So and then I have like Grace. This is the character sheet for her. I do have a actually I have a I do have a drawing from an old drawing from her, but it's still one of my favorites. Yeah, that looks. I love this. Hi, thanks for dropping in. I'm just going over some of the my some of my original characters, and because these are from my and these are actually all characters from my comic. So like the and earlier tonight I was working on I'm doing Smaugust drawings. So like I'm drawing like yeah, thanks. Appreciate you dropping by. Thanks. Yeah, I've been working on like a whole bunch of Smaugust. Like every day's a different prompt, and I found all these different art lists for different types of for different prompts for dragons. So like I found this is a defiant dragon from I think it's from this one. Yeah. So it's at MAAHIS. Is it? Yeah. There we go. Oops, I'll zoom in on that. This is just in case you want to see it. There we go. Huh. Cool. That's nice. We were just talking about that series earlier in the stream. Saying how like I was saying how I'm excited for the second season. Oops, that's the JPEG. I don't want the JPEG. Oh yeah, it was. This is another character. I found this recently, actually. Huh. But yeah, this is Richard Steele's song from the comic I'm working on. It's so fun drawing that mustache. This is actually this for one of the few times I've listened to this for this long, and it's a pretty good list of music actually. Yeah. Sorry, let's just go back to drawing these. This is I was drawing this earlier. It's a ice cream dragon. So I made it like a ice cream bowl for the main body. I'm just roughing it out right now, but. Oh, actually, I can see why that looks like that. Where'd he go? Where'd he go? Where'd it put him? Because he actually uses maces, but it does like it's always difficult when you're just drawing like the rough line work to make it look like that. I'll show you another one of him to make it more clear, but. Here's some. Here you can see them a little better. But like yeah. Mustache. Thank you. He does. I love his mustache. It's one of my like drawing his mustache and is probably one of my favorite parts of the comic. That and the fact that he's kind of like it's just fun having this guy who's like a father that's trying to, he's like trying to save his wife and his daughter's with him, so he's trying to keep her safe too. So, and I'll show you what she looks like. I have a picture of her too. I did have a better one of her though. I want to show you the more fun one. Where's the more fun version of her? Here's another character. But this isn't the daughter. This is a side character that's with the wife. Magic's been introduced to this world, so from the fairy realm, so people have that, and they have like specializations based on like where they like usually around their interests. So like this is a part dragon woman who's she controls water, and I used water bending as an inspiration for her because that's the best way to show water moving. And but yeah, a lot of people did kind of, it's kind of like in Generator Rex, where like the world just instantly changed in like a huge cataclysm, like pulse from the other side, where like I haven't decided what the catalyst was because I haven't written a prequel to this prequel series, but it's just all they know is that like something on our side like pushed through the veil and they came in at a much larger rate, and it was an invasion which led to a war which the Steel Song family was involved in. Thank you. Yeah, I'm really happy with her design. So like it goes back to Richard's. Here's a cool one of the two of them. Although I gotta fix Richard in this drawing, but here's June and Richard, and June's got her guitar that's possessed by a spirit because that happens early in the story. And this shows Richard's power of like he can conjure weapons. So he's like a walking armory of like he can conjure weapons. He can change the aspects of his armor, and he can manipulate metal to a degree when it's not attached to him. But normally he mainly focuses on himself because that's plenty on its own. And June is a practicing bard, so she's at like which is funny because I did this before I watched Jujutsu Kaisen, and then I saw that one guy in it, and I'm like, oh, okay, he's basically my character, but a lot older. But yeah, and I kind of gave him like this is kind of hinting at his dark past with his arm, like because he's like, he was a big part of him too that I want to make be a part of him, which is funny to do with a knight, especially after listening to a lot of Critical Role lately with the original Vox Machina with Pike and how bad she was at stealth wearing full plate mail, but he could do it. Like he was just so good at like this, like on top of his summoning magic, he can like control the traits of it so that like it made no noise at all and didn't so he could just sneak around the battlefield, and like he was part of like a black ops team almost. I love her guitar where it's got the, yeah, she was heavily inspired by I don't know if you've seen Little Witch Academia, but like the woman that the main character wanted to be, I based a lot on her. And actually I have her right here dressed up in that costume. Thank you. Yeah, there's her dressed in the Little Witch Academia. Like, she was a teacher in the show, in the movie, but she was in this when she at the beginning of it when she was in her performance gear. So I have, she didn't have wings. That's something that she's making with her magic. But I like how I made like the birds coming out too. Like it's like she's like putting on a show. Yeah, that's a Studio Trigger. It's got gorgeous animation. I remember my one friend questioning it, and I'm like, buddy, you got to see this animation, even if you think the story's too childish. It's gorgeous. Like I've seen like stills of some of the frames of like her stumbling while running, and it looks so, or like scenes of her like that scene of the other girl with the short hair riding the broom that's got like, it's like a rocket ship. Thanks. Yeah, she came out great. Because I also made my favorite version of the villain of the comic too. Where is he? Oh, here's, no, that's just, where'd he go? I'll do this one. 'Cause it's a JPEG, but that's okay. I based him off of Stein. He's cosplaying as Stein, but he's a lot of him was inspired by Stein anyway, so I thought it'd be really fun, because I'll show you what he actually looks like in the character sheets. But like yeah, everything about the flying in that was gorgeous, and like the magic was really fun too. This is what he normally looks like. He experimented on himself, and he's like an, like, I guess the best thing to say is that would be accurate is like he's probably part goblin, but he's changed himself so much. It's kind of unclear. He's like a chimera. There's just so much going on with him. Yeah. And he's got this like familiar that's like a spirit of someone that he knew. He believes it's his wife, but it's kind of unclear because it's been a while. It's been in this form for a while, so he's kind of forgotten. And he's kind of a scientist mixed with a trickster. So like he's really into doing like experiments, kind of like I guess like Arcade from Marvel, where he's just kind of like he likes to put, or Mojo from X-Men, where he likes to put people through and animals through like experiments, which is what leads to him being involved in the story, because Grace loves animals and wants to protect them at all costs, even in a situation where she could be like spirited away and trapped forever in a different dimension. She's still like, I can get out of this. I need to save this little baby dinosaur. Let's see, do I have anyone else? Oh, here's I was working on some other characters. So I was working on the werewolf. It's a bounty hunter. It's a little both, but mostly she did pass away, and it's kind of like a parallel story where like this might be what happens to Richard if he doesn't find his wife. It's like a stakes kind of character, but like an exaggeration, obviously, because Richard's got a much better moral compass coming from a family with a strong sense of morals and values. Oh, cool. Actually, yeah, I have. This is two as well. It's funny that you say two because this is one of the two. I'll show you the other one because I wanted to make it a werewolf one because I thought that would be really cool to have this like. Yeah, the fur came out great, didn't it? I'm really happy with that. I used a lot of reference for wolves to get it right. But like, here's the other one. She's I don't have it finished yet, but because this is what she originally. This is I did this cool drawing of her, like an action pose, and she's like she's a pixie, but I wouldn't call her. She's just like. Yeah, me too. I love that I give him, and he uses like special enchanted weapons sometimes, but he's also got like his fur is like made out of it's like imbued with this like dense material, so he can take some punishment. He's like a really fast, really durable character, and she's even faster. She moves around like a lightning bolt. She's like a dragoon warrior. Yeah, and I love the wings. That was my favorite part of her. And like making her look like a moth. Like I made it so that her sleeves look like the fuzzy legs of a moth, and on her boots too. And like I just love the eyes, kind of like that really distract and unnerve people that she's hunting. Like she'll just unfurl them, and like you get like stared down by it. All these creepy looking eyes, and like maybe even like there's a slight there's like a hallucinogen on them too, so like they start to blink and look at you, and more of them maybe appear around her because the person's hallucinating. So it'll be so much fun when I get to drawing her in the comic, because I do have a few pages where they run into them first. So but yeah, his I'll zoom in on this for you too, because that came out really good. This is actually an older one too. You can tell, I don't have my, like I do much more detail than this now, but I'm still really happy with the colors I chose. Like I made him like this, like much like Richard. He has like this like military kind of look to him, but like he takes it to a like more like parkour kind of gear, kind of like he's got like these like things that he's got like knee guards and reinforced like steel tip boots. Yeah, that staff is pretty cool. Yeah, the yeah, she is just like it's ironic because she squares off against the main character June, who has no experience in fighting, and it goes how you'd expect. Not too great. She lives, but oh, just luck. But I like that I gave her like this like punk, this gothic punk kind of look too. And like having her like stomping down on the spear as it's falling, I thought looked pretty awesome. And the like rocks exploding off the ground. Because she's just there's like so much arcane energy built up in that. But yeah, like these are all. Let's see if I have anyone else. There's a couple. There's a bunch of more, but oh well, that's another one of him. Let's see if I find someone else. Chillart. Well, this is that spirit character. She's a kind of a she's this like kind of mischievous like fox spirit kind of, and I wanted to give her a fun unique look, so I don't use that mask anymore. I mean, she'll wear that sometimes. It's a little bit too. It's a bit complicated to draw at angles, as you can kind of see here. I tried to draw it there, but it's still, I love the colors and like the fact that her hair. Thank you. Yeah, I love these. This is what I mean. Like, I had so much fun making all these characters, and like, all of them are important in their own way. Like, my bounty hunter characters in any other story might be just like throwaway characters, but in this they're important. She is kind of like a devil on June's shoulder kind of character, where she's kind of like, but not like evil. She's kind of mischievous evil. So she's like, always like, psst, use your magic for this. It'll be funny. And stuff like that. So, yeah. She's like, you just need to. She thinks June just needs to lighten up and have more fun. So she's like, I'm going to come with you and make sure you have fun. Even though this sounds like a terrifying journey for you, it'll be fun for me because I have no stake in it. But yeah. Oh, and this was done for fun, and I made it into the. This was for. Was this for Smaugust? Or this might have been. I forget. I think it was actually, but I turned it into a character, a creature actually. Yeah, she's kind of like this, like the fun, like does kind of like Milyispik from Superman kind of character where she, if he didn't hate Superman, where it's just kind of like I'm just here for fun, and if you, this is, I'm not worried about anything. Yeah, and if you see, there's scale comparison. This is the that little dinosaur in the other in her drawing, that's it down there with her, and it's like she's trying to she's actually she tries to save them both at first, but then she realizes that the mother's too far gone with the fairy magic to even be safe for her child. Or something like that. I haven't really written that far ahead. I'm kind of, it's just, but she's, the dinosaur is, the mother's been bonded with a forest spirit called a leshy, which is like, usually it's like a man-shaped, a humanoid-shaped creature that has like a skull of a deer for its head. But I incorporated that into its design, and yeah, I'm really happy with how this came out. And I based it off the newer findings for T-Rex. Even though they didn't have, they probably, if they had feathers, they weren't this big. It was just fun drawing them this big. And I tried to give it like although I'll say that part of it being so big is that it was also the magic of being in the fairy realm that made it bigger. Because T-Rexes would probably be like up to here. So it's got like so much more. Because they're a little bit bigger than elephants. Which is still, to a human, huge. But yeah. So I just pumped it up to Jurassic Park sized. Because I'm like, yeah. I put my influence, and my love of of the original movies into this. Let's make sure I save that. So I don't... What's that? Oh no. What have I done? Oh no. Wait, there's only... Well, 39 layers is a lot. Maybe I should have lowered them. I should have merged more of them together. Don't crash, don't crash, don't crash. Please don't crash. So while we're waiting for that for a second, yeah, I'll talk more about these. It's going to go nowhere for a second. Don't crash, please. But yeah, this is kind of her story, is like trying to protect... well, the two of these really are what she's trying to protect. And trying to get them back to the fairy realm so that they can be safer, because they clearly are not going to fit in on Earth anymore. They would just decimate any ecosystem they enter, or be outperformed by any predators on Earth at the time. Let's see if I have any other OCs though. Do you have a couple? I love making original characters, so. Oh, I did one of here's another cosplay for Grace. I did her as oh, I'm forgetting her name, but from oh gosh, Yor from she's the main one that everyone's trying to get to, but she's not the main character. She's the B story. Because like, I wouldn't want to say she's the damsel in distress, because she's not in distress. Because she doesn't even know that she's in danger. Is the problem. She's the woman that's like in a twister in a like volcano movie and doesn't know it until until late, and then she has to make a mad dash to get out of the situation. But yeah, here's her as Yor. I did just a quick sketch, like painting sketch of her there. Thanks. Yeah, and this is more like what the dinosaur, her little dinosaur that she's trying to protect, looks like. Where it's, the funny thing is this little guy came from he was supposed to be a familiar, or like a pet for Cole, the necromancer guy I showed you earlier. But when I changed the story over to these guys, I just pulled him into this one, not realizing that I would later on pull Cole back into this story as her brother. So it's like, well, I guess it's hers now. And I might make it so that later on he like asks to watch it sometimes because he loves studying dinosaurs as well. Although he's more into like studying magic, so he quickly regrets his decision to have a live animal because he's good at taking care of ones he raises, but not ones that have, real needs. Let's see if I after I'll do a few more and then we can get back. Let's see if I have anything else from more recent. That I think that was pretty much, because everything else is kind of either just like random things or like the beginnings of ideas for some things. Oh, there was one more that I know I made, but I just don't know where she went. Because there's this like character that's a she's like a giant, and I made one for her, like a thing for her. Well, that's where that went. Never mind. Sorry, I just found my I'm gonna bring this. Well, oops. No, I didn't mean to open it. Oh well. Yeah, that's my VTuber model. I'm starting work on that now so that I can eventually get it done probably later this year, because I hear it takes a long time to rig. So I figure I can start learning now. Do I have anyone else? I think that's pretty much everything from the comic, except for the one I just mentioned, because like most of them are all yeah, most of them are just like much smaller characters. So like even Clay, I don't have necessarily a role for him yet, but I would like him to show up eventually in the, yeah, these are all sneak peeks of characters that will show up, like especially Cole, because Clay, because I do have Cole in the story already, since he's like her, they go and visit him really early in the story, or like Richard does, because June really doesn't want to go see him again. She's kind of creeped out by his undead things. Like, I think I have a page. Let me see if I can find it. I think I did get that page done. Or not done, but like... it's gonna be hard to find because it's... maybe not. Well, here's one of the first monsters they face. So here's a sneak peek of the... It's out the clean... This is I don't know if this is the final one, but this is one of the... Yeah. I think I was just going over it again, so that's why it's a little messy, but yeah, this is one of the it's like this yeah, it's like a golem or a forest, maybe even like a forest. I can't remember if I said it was a golem or a forest spirit that was like gone ravenous. I think it was that it was a no. It was a golem because it was a helper golem that was for gardening that like got corrupted somehow and like started attacking their house. And Richard's just like, I put a lot of work into that cabinet. So yeah, he uses what's called a flanged mace, and it's kind of hard to show. The only problem is, yeah, I can see why, like, it does look kind of like an axe, but it's because of how it's much like an axe. He's yeah. Thank you. Yeah, I'm really happy with how he came out too. Yeah, came out really great. And then I have try and find like some other pages. Oh, this is the first. These are some roughs for when June meets the for that mischievous forest spirit, the fox spirit, where she's just like teasing her about how lost she is in this like trial that Richard put her through to navigate through some woods to get to a city. He's like, okay, you can come with me, but I want you to do this one thing first to prove that. He's like, I'm sure you're good, but I want to make sure that you can handle being alone, so I'm going to send you off in this area that should be safe. And ironically, that's where she runs into her, which is good because there was worse things in that forest, but she wisely went in the direction of this creature, which the worst things are scared of. So I guess it was a good decision and a bad decision. Oh, here's another page I'm really proud of that I just need to clean up, but come on, load. And I do have a website. Yeah, this is they're in a diner. Oh, thank you. Oh yeah, like some of that's like the okay, so that was that one of Richard up there was of him dressed as Guts from Berserk. I figured since he also can make like creepy armor when he wants to go all out, he can. I thought it'd be fun to make him in the what was it called? Guts Cursed Armor, whatever it was called, I forget. But yeah, this I still gotta clean this up a little bit more, but I'm really happy with like the setting. Like, it's just like this is like one of the first times she's been outside her village, and like she's kind of like losing control of her magic, and because it's combining with her anxiety and like exploding out of her. Like the thumbnails are kind of blocking it, so I'll move this over a little. But like, yeah, you can see in that first panel, she's kind of like having a panic attack, and then like this nice lady, just like she's like she absorbs and like calms her with a spell, which ironically scares her at first. I haven't posted it yet. I want to get at least like 20 pages done, and then I'll post those, and then I'll try and like keep on a schedule of updating it. It's a little tricky. I'm just trying to find a good rhythm between that and like broadcasting on Twitch and on YouTube, but which has been my main strategy has been like I do a lot of drawing of the comic on YouTube and a little bit on Twitch too, but like this month, I just wanted to try a few of these the dragon drawings, but usually I'm drawing this. So like I'm hoping I can get a. Now that I've picked up some momentum, I should. Thank you. Yeah. Yeah, it's funny because like I think the biggest thing that helped me with this comic was telling people like you and just like hearing people say they really love this story and like everything about it, and I'm like. Because I had some self-doubt about it, and then I talked to people, and they're like, oh, that sounds cool. I want to read that. And I'm like, oh, okay. I'll get back on it. So I was a little worried that that it would sound derivative or something, but I think it's pretty unique. I mean, like, it's a fantasy story mixed with a disaster story, so I think that's pretty rare. Like, I've seen sci-fi with disaster movie a couple times, but not fantasy. Let's see if I have that one. Is this it? I'm trying to see if I can find the one with the bounty hunters up here, because that was pretty funny. Oh, this is like... Oh, this was a fun page, though. I'm going to show you this one. Is a bit of a spoiler, but that's okay. It's just fun. Oh, yeah, the werewolf guy can make... is really smart, so he could make robot copies of himself. So he's got like his own wolf pack. Oh, thank you. Yeah. Yeah, so I just love fantasy in general. Like everything about just the kind of stories you could tell with that. Like this is just showcasing like the extent of like how dark and powerful his Richard's abilities can get, where like he can like manipulate metal and make it go, and he turned his mace into like a whole bunch of like just spears essentially that went in every direction. And even the werewolf's like, never mind, I'm done. Like, I'm good. Because he's smart. He's a smart bounty hunter, kind of like Boba Fett or something, where like he knows when he's been beat. Well, actually, Boba Fett's not smart in that way, so he's smarter than that. But he's like, but yeah, he's. Let's see. But yeah, I'm really excited to get these all colored in, and I'm finding a way to get faster at that. But the main thing I'm getting faster at too is writing. Yeah. Well, they made the big mistake of essentially just like pushing his buttons and like started hurting his daughter in front of him, and it's like, guys, you could have just walked away. You shouldn't have done that. Now he's mad. Because they were only ambushing them because they thought they were someone else. So once they realized they weren't the people, they kept messing with them even because they're like, we're curious who they were. And he's just like, leave us alone, drop it. We're just going to walk through. And then he's like, nah, I'm going to mess with you. And it's like, well, then we have a problem. It's like, you're going to wish you didn't do that. Because, I mean, like, this guy can take a lot of... He takes a lot of hits from Richard until he sees what Richard can do, and he's like, I think I remember your reputation, so... I kind of think... Because he didn't even know who he was at first. Then he saw him do that ability, and he's like, I'm starting to put this together, and I don't want to fight you. Change my mind. You can go. Because he realizes that he can actually use them. Like, Richard's past is going to... He's certain that his past is going to catch up with him, and a bunch of people who have, like, grudges and, like, against the family are going to come out of the woodwork, and being bounty hunter, he's like, hey, he's just, like... the best person to have around, because he's going to just lead us to like so much money, because all these fools who think they can take him on. Yeah. Well, to be fair, it was because that pixie girl, like, she just had to come into the battle going like like she normally does, but like full of energy and ready to just like unleash everything, instead of being like more subdued and like realize that she didn't really need to use so much power, because she possibly could have killed June if June wasn't trained. And I'll have a page for that later on, but yeah, she roughed her up a bit, and that made him mad, and then they taunted her more by saying they were just going to take her, and then it's like, then I'm going to have to do bad things to you. It's like, I'm already trying to save my wife. Take her, then I'm just gonna lose it. And she's fun too because she has the same love of nature that Grace has, but she is much more. She's not a tomboy like Grace. Like Grace still has that, like, she loves to dress up. Like Grace is based around I forget her name. I gotta remember it, but she's from that woman from Jurassic Park that was the botanist. That was friends with Grant, like at the beginning. They had a kind of relationship, and then I think it gets more serious as as it goes along. But yeah, she's kind of based on that, where she's just like really into her work, and there's a reason for it. That, like, at first glance she might not seem like a good mother, but then you see why she's doing it later on, and it's only based on helping June in a certain way. So everything about her is about protecting and the family in her way. So I'm gonna work on that guy actually, not instead of just bouncing around. Where'd he go? Not that one. Sure, save. Closing some windows because I got to save RAM. Oh, that was a drawing I'm doing for. Let's see. Oh, this one. This is what I want to work on. I want to finish up this guy. But yeah, it's just really cool. That it's been a really fun story to work on, and like they're all really fun characters to work with. I would like to start listening to some more books on tape while I draw, so I can get more inspiration. Because, like, a lot of what inspired the villain was from a few of Neil Gaiman's stuff, where it's just like more like and from other things too, but like. I just wanted to make a kind of fun villain that wasn't the main, because he doesn't have to be the main villain, because the main villain of the story is the invading. I mean, it's the dimensional shift that might pull her mom into another realm. So you don't need that's the villain. He's just a jerk that's kind of in the way, but he's not really. They could just ignore him and. Although I might make it so there's not a choice, but and that'll be a fun thing to figure out, like how to make him so he's like he's not optional. Sure, I was just saying yesterday that I would love that. Yeah, I'm trying to set up a Discord, so I'll try and do that this weekend, and if not, I'll try and do it this week so that at least by next Friday I'll try and have like an area where you could put it up. But for now, if you want, in the next, if you get it done by the next one, just put a link in chat. Because yeah, that would be really cool. I love that he looks so crazy. He's just like I purposely made him look, like I said, like kind of like a villain almost, but he's just a really energetic and like like just full of life kind of guy that just like super nice to everyone around him, but he's just so intense is the word I was trying to find. Yeah. I look forward to seeing it. That'll be exciting. Fix him up a little bit. Yeah, I don't have his. He's not doing it in this picture, but he can also make arm. He can make He can like. These bracers can reshape the rock too, so he can make like armor and weapons out of them. Like he can essentially just like encase himself like Toph does with like metal, but he can do that with like any element, any like a natural element. And maybe some more basic metals. Like he's not like Richard where he can control any metal, or and make it into a weapon. He's kind of more like he's more like Terra, where he's like, or like an Earthbender. I'd almost say like the boulder. But I'd say he's more like Boomy actually, is like energy wise and the way he acts. It's much more Boomy esque kind of personality. Throw them a feast. What? I do love that line. Throw them in the dungeon. You mean the actual dungeon or the one that was recently refurbished? The refurbished one. So maybe we should actually have better names for these. Throw them in the dungeon that it was once bad but now is good. Such a good show. Yep. Yeah, speaking of which, let's see if I can. I had to at least kind of. Wait, where'd he go? There he is. Yay! Boomy, you mad genius. There are no take-backsies in my kingdom. Just a quick drawing I did for what was that? This was part of July Fi, because yeah, it was a July drawing challenge, and the prompt was Rocky. So I did I drew him because Sokka thought that was going to be his name. Like when they were trying to figure it out. At least I think that's what he said. If I remember right, he said he thought it might be Rocky. Just closing some windows right now. Sorry. Oops, that. Close. No. Close. No. Oh yeah, that's fun. Oops, I don't want that open either. Yeah, I would love a maquette from like statue of one of the Avatar characters. I don't know. It's hard to choose which one I would shoot, which one I would do, but because like Toph would be an awesome one to have of like her making like a giant like mountain or something, or like I don't know any of them in their any of their action in an action pose. Even Sokka would be a fun one to have. Boomerang, you do come back. Yeah, I love that. I do love when he's just like, I'm gonna fight you, and he's like, oop, that was the wrong choice. And he just like straightens his spine, and all of a sudden just bursts out the muscles, and you're just like, oh my, oh no, Aang's in trouble. He really chose the wrong choice. Like, can I fight the guy with the tattoo and the scar? That's too dark. It's a little better. Do, do, do. I thought that was cool though that they also showed Aang's power in that fight too though. Like he was able to pick up a like a giant boulder that was tossed at him with his tornado. That was so impressive. It's like, okay, this kid's definitely got some skill. I love that line. You haven't changed a bit, Aang. Literally. It's like, yeah, he probably looked identical to the last time you saw him. I've been meaning to read the what is it? The Lady Kyoshi comic, because that looks really cool. Where it's all about her like her story and like how she, like everything she talked about in during the show of like dealing with that horrible dictator, and she's in a like I forget. She's in a relationship with a firebender, and it looks like a really good story. Do, 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 do. I do love whenever Aang always regrets talking to her though. He's like, I knew I shouldn't have talked to Kyoshi. It's like she's all about vengeance, and he's like, nope. Like as a monk, he can't do that. Although I would like to see also a story about that other airbender, the woman that he talks to at the end of the show. Like seeing more of her story would be really cool. Because clearly she had to break some rules too from that airbenders follow. Because she basically tells them that she's like, you don't get to be an airbender. You're the avatar. You don't get to have their follow their tenets because they've separated themselves from the world and you're a part of it. Yeah, kind of totally. Like she was very like matter of fact. So like I could definitely see that being because Kyoshi you already knew was going to be that way, but when you saw her you're like, okay, another airbender, maybe she'll be cool. Oh no, she's also matter of fact, but not in a different way. In a way where I really want to find out what made her like that. Because I'm sure something bad happened in her time as well. And like, I mean, Juan's story was so much fun. I would be even happy if they just like did her story like that, where it's like, it's only a couple episodes. Yeah. Well, like Ozai was such finding out his story was so cool. I'm so happy they put that when they had that episode. I was just like so excited because that was so cool finding out about him and the Fire Lord and like their relationship. The previous Fire Lord, not the not Mark Hamill. If only he had met Mark Hamill, maybe things would be different. But much like my story, his main antagonist was a volcano, was a natural disaster, the volcano. So, and a bad friend. So, those two things combined. Yeah, Roku's passed. That's right. Yeah, yeah. He's yeah, just like, and it was interesting finding out his connection to, well, to some of the actual characters, like when his uncle reveals to him. Yeah, I mean Zuko when he finds out what his lineage was, because he's only known about one side of his family for the longest time, because his mom, I guess, never could tell him about that. Maybe she was forbidden to. I did read some of the story, the comic where right, yeah. But her the story of them trying called The Search is really good. I read that comic, like uh I skimmed it really quick because I was gonna buy it, and I probably will still buy it. But I read a little bit of it at Barnes and Noble. just to see how it was. And it's about her life before being pulled into the political family and all that. And she actually did have a man in her village that she wanted to marry, but the Fire Lord came there and he selected her. And it's kind of like a oh gosh, it's like a Lannister situation where like, but from where she's like, she only loves her children. And she tried to help Azula, but her father was paid too much attention to her. Because I've heard interesting like people, interesting like talks from certain YouTubers on like their like beliefs on like why she was the way she was, and like what made her that way is like her desire to just like survive in that situation, like a coping mechanism. Like it wasn't that she was just bad. She saw how Zuko was treated and she tried a different route. She's like, if I become the good kid, then I can survive this and I can overtake him and become the Fire Lord after him. Where Zuko's just like, nah. Plus, Zuko had the benefit of his uncle, so the best character in the show. Up there, him and Toph. Yeah. I do like that they kind of wrote in that Aang was always kind of right about how he was going to solve problems. Like he jokingly says, he kind of says like, maybe I could just glue his arms and legs together and then he can't bend. And he didn't do that, but he kind of did. I'm so glad that Suki became a part of their team later on too. That she was such a fun character. Like once they gave her a chance to just be fun, like in Emerald Island, that was just so fun. Where she's just like, I am a trained warrior. In this, I can disappear, and then she's like, yeah, I can sneak you in. Like, I got this. And all just so Sokka could give the actor portraying him better, or lamer jokes. Actually, he's like, no, make them dumb, make them more like cringeworthy, like this. Here, use these. I love that part. And the funny thing I heard was that like the reason Sokka laughs the way he does is because the voice actor said that he's not good at doing a fake real laugh, so he just did a fake laugh. That's why it's like it's like he's just like, yeah, that's there's my like just purposely sounds fake kind of laugh, but it works so well for Sokka. It's like, yeah, I guess that would be how he sounds, because everything's about bravado and like early on especially, and that would fit in with that. Just not. Yeah. Oh, that broke my heart, especially because of the fact that it was based around Mako passing. That was so sad. So it was already a sad event, and then you realize it's based around them saying goodbye to like a really, really skilled actor that did a lot of movies and has been a voice actor in a couple um, notable roles in like kids shows. Like he was he was a coup in Samurai Jack. But at least he lived a full life. But I mean, it's always sad when people pass. But at least he wasn't like some of the other people that were shortly after passed, like Christopher. Well, like, yeah, I forget. There was a lot around that time. But yeah, I think I recently watched this one YouTuber because not because I wanted to see them cry, but because I wanted to see how other people react to that, and with it being something new, because it's I've watched the series so much that it's like memorized to me, and it's still a definitely has gives me like a certain feeling, but it's not, it doesn't hit it obviously as hard after you've seen it so many times, but it still is very powerful. Yeah. But I'm so excited for these movies that are coming out. I think the first one comes out next year, or is it this year? I think it's. I thought it was next year, but I could be wrong. Because the first one's what? I forget. Because there's two. There's at least two that are about Aang, or about like the Avatar team, different people, and then there's one. There might be one about Korra, but I could be wrong. And maybe they're all about Aang's time period. I can't remember. I'd have to double check that. But the fact that they're coming back and to do more is so exciting. I mean, I kind of sort of knew because I listened to a podcast that two of the that Janet Varney, the voice actor of Korra, and Dante Bosco, who does Zuko, they were talking about a project they were doing, but they were very vague, obviously, because you're under NDA. But yeah, I could tell it was something related to Avatar to a degree. I mean, they're talking about it on their podcast, so it's like, guys, you're kind of giving it away by talking about it here, unintentionally. I mean, anything that they're involved in though would be fun to see it made into a movie. Like he's done some other roles like Jake Long, so let's see if I can find it really quick. Oops. Yeah, I don't. Oh, here you go. It is next year. It's slated for next year, but they're not sure. Oh, it's been delayed. Ah, darn. It I fig you're right. I should have figured, especially with COVID making it so everyone was separated, and a big part of their team is having Sifu Kisu on set helping him out, like the two of them sparring to do scenes. Let's see, plot. See if I can find out the plot. Okay, never mind. There is. It doesn't. I don't know if it really. Yeah, I'm not sure. There's no way of knowing for sure. I'll have to keep an eye on it to see if they have more information about it. But I'm excited. I love that team. I was. I liked Dragon Prince for its story, but I was a little disappointed in the animation budget. I don't know if you got a chance to watch that, but it's the same team, but it feels like they were really like limited in what they could do. Because it is more CG, kind of like Korra was, but it feels like even though Korra had a lot of red tape on it, it at least had a budget that was big, so there was a lot of episodes where like you could tell they really put a lot of money into it, like when she fights Amon, and and especially in like the later seasons when they realized how popular it was. But like, it's just a shame because I really like the characters in Dragon Prince, but the budget just makes some of them move in the most unnatural ways. Like the young prince, I forget his name right now, but his head moved so jerky. I just it looked odd to me. And it's a shame because they did a good job with like, I mean, they gave him a full. He had a great character design, and I'm like, this would be really fun if I could not be distracted by the animation. And then Voltron was good. The ending could have been a little better maybe, but the story itself was pretty good. I mean, it kind of. I mean, obviously, it suffered from the fact that it's based off of a franchise that was made to sell toys, so a little bit harder, but not impossible. I mean, Transformers made a lot of popular shows, and yeah, no, I know what you mean. It's like it had so much promise, and then like you go and watch it because you recognize the studio, and you're like, this doesn't feel like them. It just feels different. Like everything about it feels like they were really like held back from their true potential. Even though they were using some newer software, it still feels like they were rushed at a ridiculous pace, maybe to push something out. And I would have waited another like 3 years for that if they had, which I wish they had put into it, because it was it was kind of, I mean, it was a cool idea of like a race to save a dragon and stop a war between fairy folk and humans. So cool. And like the villain isn't like your normal like mustache twirling villain, even though they kind of made him look like that, which was a mistake. Like he was just a father who was trying to forge a safe future for his children. I watch that once a year at least. I love that. Just such a fun. Every fall, I watch that. It's funny. I mean, there's never a bad time to watch it. It's just that it's like I just think fall because it starts. I mean, pe- cover your ears, people who haven't seen it, but it starts on Halloween, and you find out how I know that if you've watched the whole thing. But I mean, it's like a very old show now, so I guess I don't know why I said spoilers. When did I think that came out in 2009 or 10? Yeah, I think it was 2010. Right? It was somewhere in that range. It was a while ago. It was so cool seeing Elijah Wood do a voice a character, an animated character. I thought he did good. Like you never are 100% sure what you're to expect from like actual actors, but he did good. Yeah, it's really good. I think for a while I was using it as a like a relaxing, chill tune to listen to. See if I can do it later. That's like multiply. Let's see. Yeah, It's just funny because after a while, I finally found out about this podcast called The Friendship Onion, which has the two actors who play the what was it the other hobbits. My brain's not remembering them right now. Merry and Pippin. But but yeah, it was funny hearing like. I mean, I also watched the commentary for Lord of the Rings, and it was funny. I love that like they were saying like the first version of those feet they had to wear were awful. Like they were just like very prototypey. Like they were just like felt like plaster or something like that. They were just so awkward to walk in. And he had to do that scene with was it Adriel or Adriel? Who's oh gosh, I forget the act. My brother, but anyway, he said that she was dressed gorgeous, and then like he's just like this goofy little guy that's like hobbling down this flight of stairs, and he's like this. He's like I felt so silly. He's like, but he loved how it looked afterwards, but he felt like really goofy in the moment, just like being like, she looks amazing, and I'm just stumbling down these stairs in these dumb shoes. But the worst person, obviously, the person who had it the worst on that set was oh gosh, I forget his name, but the guy who played Gimli. That outfit was the worst. Like he got some nasty scarring from that outfit. Yeah, it was. I think they even showed them just like with their feet up, and it was just like it looks so weird. Yeah, I remember the actors who played the two hobbits said they were both really intimidated by Christopher Lee. Even though they said overall he was a really nice guy. Like it's kind of funny that when he found out how they were gonna take his and how they were gonna take out his character in the story, he's like, okay, that's cool, but can we do it so that I get staked by this thing? Because he wanted to kind of make a nod to his old films of being Dracula. So he's like, it'd be kind of fun if I just got like just totally impaled, like one of my like a vampire. Did I just I saw one of those in the theater, actually, the extended versions. That was that took effort. Like I am almost fell asleep a few times. Not obviously not because it's boring, but because that's a long time to be. 4 hours is a long time to devote to. Well, speaking of which, we're almost getting to that. I was gonna be like, 4 hours is a lot to devote to anything. I'm like, oh, look at how long I've been on. Yeah, I saw the was it the second or third? I think I saw I saw the second in theaters extended, and then I've seen them all extended on DVD and then Blu-ray. Because Shelob was in the second one, right? I think. If I remember correctly, I think Shelob appears at the very end of the second one. Where's that? I'll have to think about that. It's been a little while since I've seen it, so I'm trying to remember where where they where it all comes together. Bring these closer together. Yeah, I heard that they're gonna Okay, so it was the third one that I saw in theaters. Okay, I thought so, but once again, the 4 hours kind of messed me up. So I don't know where one begins and ends once you make them that long. It's like, oh, but I was gonna say that like it looks like uh, a newer fantasy art. Well, he's done newer. He's published things recently, but Brandon Sanderson is trying to make some of his comics. I mean, some of his stories into movies. Like the Mistborn series, I heard might be sometime in the future made into a series. I think they're trying anyway, and I love that story. So has a really cool magic system in it, where like you ingest metals to use magic. It is crazy, but interesting. Oh, like how's that? Fix that. Yeah, it's better. Huh. Okay. I mean, he made that character so memorable. So that should be interesting. He's probably the main reason I wanted to see The Hobbit. Actually, even more than seeing Smaug, it was to see him in before he met, I mean, before being involved with a giant war and everything. Just seeing what this strange creature when like before you knew that the ring was even doing anything to him. when he just got suckered into by a, what he thought was a riddle, but wasn't even a riddle. It was it was it was Bilbo talking to himself. The one instance where that saved a person. Yeah. Yeah. The part, everything else, meh. But like the whole gold madness, I'm like, I don't need this. Like it wasn't in the. I don't think that was even that. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that wasn't in the book. There wasn't time for it. There was like, I mean, granted, the leader of the dwarves was one of the few that actually like stood out, but the rest all looked pretty much the same, or at least it seemed like it from like what the. I mean, it's a kid's book. It was, they weren't supposed to be like a whole ragtag of like special, well-defined characters. They were just like, okay, here's these fun dwarves on a quest. Yeah. Well, it's just so funny that he just gets knocked out. It's like, hey, the battle's starting. Whomp. The battle's over. By the way, we won. I mean, he did help by translate. He got the message from the little bird. But other than that, he kind of was. That was right after that happened, I think, is when he got knocked out. So, like, they added in a. Like, there was no, like, heartthrob dwarf in love with a, like, Legolas clone, who, ironically, then just Legolas came in. And I'm like, if Legolas is there, the dragon's in a lot of trouble. You could just take that black arrow and be like, hey, body shot. aim for the spot. Because he can see a long ways away. So he'd be like he would just stare at Smaug and be like, oh, okay, there's a hole in your armor. Bang. Done. I don't need a bird to tell me that. I have supervision. Yeah, he wasn't like that at all in the book. I mean, I think at the end he does have an apology or something to Bilbo, but it's not based on that. It was something else. I forget why he was. Because on. Because that was the one thing that Bilbo got to do at the end, is say goodbye to him. But I think, right? Yeah, yeah, that was a big part of it. Was he finally got when he woke up, he was able to talk to him for a moment. Oh yeah. Yeah, I might have to go back eventually, like sometime maybe sometime this year, and just listen to all the audiobooks for the entire series. That and I'm going through a bunch of different things. Like Tales of Earthsea is really good too. It's a young adult book, but it's Studio Goro Miyazaki from Studio Ghibli tried to make it um, one of the main stories into a film, but it did not come out well. To be fair, he was trying to make 3 books into one movie, and I'm like, buddy, look what happened to Disney when they tried that with Black Cauldron. It did not end well for them either. It's like, why were you trying to do so many books? Yeah. Although it was funny, there's some channel called How It Should Have Ended, and they had this scene where like he's like, actually, you should probably keep this mithril armor. You're probably gonna need it more than I will. What with you being the warrior? And he's like, huh, I guess you're right. And then like it cuts to that scene where they're dueling, and he's like, he tries to stab him, and the mithril armor blocks it, and he's like, mithril, yeah. So good. I mean, they totally made up that villain because he wasn't in the book. The the one-armed orc. Yeah, yeah, they're fun. I like those. I like their channel. They do a lot of fun stuff. Although I'd say Drawfee was what really inspired me to try and do a channel. Because, like, seeing them have so much fun doing the challenges. I would love to try and do my version of they did this one where they did heroes from people from history, like famous people from history as anime characters, and I really would like to try that too, because I could pick some different ones. So I thought that was really fun to see that. Do, 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 do. Yeah, they also did one that was really funny for The Hobbit, where where he just the guy at the beginning of that movie with Smaug accidentally just launches his kid off the balcony, and he gets taken out by Smaug. It's like, oh no. Yeah, that could be fun. I'll look into that too. 'Cause there's a couple I really would like to. That would be fun to check out with, like changing the. I think my favorite part of watching the making of The Hobbit though was Cumberbatch pretending to be a dragon. That was like the fun. That was just so funny. Where he's just like, rah! He's like going around with his arms up near his head, like curled and stuff, and he's just like skulked over, and he was walking around funny, and it's like, we don't have any like gear detecting your movements, right? And he's just like, I don't care. He just did it for fun anyway. I think in some shots they did though use motion capture for him, but I think a lot of it he didn't even have it on, but he still just walked around like that, like a giant dragon. Yeah, I only regret that he kind of came into the Marvel movies so late that I was already starting to feel a bit tired. It's not that I dislike them. It's just that I kind of just wanted to take a break for a little while, and unfortunately, I decided to take a break when he was making most of his movies. Like I saw his first one, but I didn't see it like that one about Multiverse of Madness. I didn't see that other one he was in. Oh, I didn't see him in WandaVision either. So, but he's a good actor though. I liked him in like the Turing test, or no, the Imitation Game. I mean, which was about the Turing test, used in for technology they were using to decode a German messages. That was a good movie. Hmm. Made a lot of progress on this guy. This was much rougher when I started. Maybe I'll make that button just darker. Yeah, that looks a little better. Henry Sugar. Huh. Oh, I remember that. I never saw that one. I'll have to check that out if you say it's good. I'll look into it. Whew. I think I'm gonna finish or I'll save the rest for later. It's already been we're heading on to 4 hours now. So thank you so much for sticking with me though. You really helped me get through this, and I mean, it's fun to draw anyway, but it's much more fun to talk to someone. And yeah, let me know either like just either message me in the next time I'm on, or just maybe even just tag me in your fan art when you're done with it, so that I can see it. Because I'm really excited to see some fan art of one of my characters. So that'll be really exciting. So I was just saying yesterday I really want some, and but yeah, that would be so cool. Oh, well, good. I'm glad to hear that. It's always really fun to talk to you. So I'll be on again on Wednesday, for at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and or I'll be on tomorrow night on my Twitch, which is SRD Illustration. So if you wanted to watch me on there too, I do that too as well. But yeah, it's really nice getting to talk. I'm glad you got a chance to drop by today. And yeah, hopefully you can drop by again next week and we can show off your art, and that would be really cool. Cool. That's great to hear. What? Have a great night or day, and I'll see you next time. So take care.